All right. It looks like we're now live. Everybody, welcome to the ECBRO Discovery News broadcast. And let me turn the volume down on my phone so we don't keep hearing noises. All right. I think we're going to have a very interesting little discussion here. Um, we got. We got my radio show host Shaky Jr. and we got Rick Dyer's assistant. I mean Sam. I'm sorry. I figured, hey, Shaky was cool with me saying that, so I had to say, I'm sorry. I apologize now.
Hey, no way will this ever be used in any kind or any form of
I know.
hoaxing.
I know.
I just had to work.
All right, this is awesome. We got viewers jumping on. This is awesome. They're piling up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I think a lot of people are familiar with my recent blog post, which I'm actually going to go ahead. Maybe there's a few that might be tuning in tonight that have not read it, so I'll probably go through and read the whole thing. And I figured, I know you guys read it and understand it, and I figure I'm going to try to explain a few key points on it, and then once I go through whatever, feel free. I'm going to let you guys jump in and share your opinions and what you feel you want to throw out there. We will be having another one join us here. He's always late when he says he's going to be on, Mr. Michael Cook. So Mr. Michael Cook will be on very soon. Another 10 more minutes, roughly. Excuse me. All right. I posted a blog recently, and but hold on a second. Excuse me, everybody. I gotta check something out here. Uh, I kind of almost want to say that, but it's not about you, Sam. That's I'm oh my yeah, that's a good one. See, that popped up on my computer and my phone because I got my phone up against my screen right here. But well, as I was saying, my recent blog post from my website, it's titled "Let's Prevent It Now." Okay, let's prevent what? It's referring to hoaxing and a lot of the foolish, non-supported claims in the Bigfoot community. I'm going to read it word for word, exactly how I have this. I'll start from scratch here. All right, let's prevent it now. Hoaxing and foolish, non-supported claims in the Bigfoot community. All right, how, you may be asking? Well, thanks to Dr. Jeff Meldrum's latest share post regarding raising the bar for Bigfoot-related evidence on data gathered and/or claims. This has inspired me to help reach out further to my followers with a bit more to consider. All right, now listen how it's read. This is going for everybody and myself, and I kind of state that a little further in. But if we, as a whole, with all honesty and the passion driving us to share the truth in all that we do, it's time we get serious and stop playing in fantasy land. If you have inconclusive evidence, and I go into an example and I follow up with another one, there's many more out there I could have thrown out there, but I try to use the most simple, basic, ones out there. If you have inconclusive evidence, oh, hold on, I'm getting feedback. Okay. Yeah, if you have inconclusive evidence, example, let's talk about photos of alleged Bigfoot with no solid flesh or blood subject appearing in them, visible to the naked human eye. Quote, stop right there. Do not bother sharing. You need real proof, a real subject in your photo. Smudges and blurry images destroy credibility. They present no justice of the claimed as well as a waste of time to share. All right, next, you need real physical evidence associated with your photo to support the subject in your photo for what the claim states. All right, investigate. All right, I go in to say, next we need to question the presented evidence. Where did this take place? Who else was present? What led up to the events having to obtain this photo? And is there other further, excuse me, and is there other further to support what is presented? All right, there's so much I could break down for more examples. Further investigation with questioning one's claim is a must. All right, before I read on, yeah, it's very important that we all question everybody, even myself. And I've said it over and over, even on these podcasts. If you don't understand what I'm sharing or what I'm presenting or anything that I'm stating, please question me. I welcome questioning. It's better to question than to mock, because if you're mocking, that means you didn't understand me. All right. One, I'm not an expert, and I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all. All right. Please take note of that. All right. Now here's another example. All right. You post a picture with an imaginary Bigfoot in it. You call it cloaking, but no one sees what you're talking about. First of all, why are you saying they are cloaking? Two, what proves that cloaking is real? What proves that magical portals exist? And this is where it got to a few people, and they didn't like this. If your only answer is because I saw it happen, then truly, this is how I quoted it. Now, I want you guys to speak on this. I'll go to the live chat afterwards. Was this too hard? All right. This is what I stated. Then truly, it's your imagination with your mind set to believe in a lie you driven so deep into your own self, you are now revealed as an unreliable source for truth, for any credibility, nor are you capable of providing proof. All right. All right. Maybe that would, I think this speaks pretty clear. I mean, and like I mentioned further into this, I'm not trying to be demeaning or putting anybody down. This is more of a wake up call, more of something we all need to be more of aware of. All right, this, my friend, is why the Bigfoot community lacks credibility and a serious approach from outsiders. If evidence is not available, then it's only hearsay. All right, then I go on to say, but if witnesses, but with witnesses, it does help to a certain extent. All right, data such as DNA samples with video documentation of the specimen or subject itself is where this bar has been raised. And then I finish up with, yes, it's okay to share photos of possible Bigfoot-related signs and activities. Keep in mind, I quoted possible Bigfoot-related signs and activities. All right, this is great for discussion on theories and further ideas. I myself will continue in the making of field documentaries for education on wildlife, nature, and logical explanations. So many people are unaware of what's natural, never mind the unnatural world. They fail to know or identify logic as well as reality. For this, many have revealed just how low and uneducated they are. Overall, they have no desire to know real truth. Instead, they continue to poison the minds of many others who are becoming misled. I will not let this happen to those who hunger for real logical truth. This information includes me and everyone. Can we provide data to support what we present? This is what we need to start looking at. I am not demeaning anyone, but trying to help us all. Remember, questioning a claim or stated above is scientific. Mocking a claim without question is ignorant. Become aware, be a follower of the ECBRO, subscribe to the YouTube channel, ECBRO98, blah, blah, blah. And I even throw out my email on there. If those who may be listening or tuning in that's not on social media as far as Facebook, and if you want to contact me, ecbro98@gmail.com. You could message me there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I wrap it up on that. With that being read, I mean, let me take it from you guys right there. In your honest opinion, as far as the way I worded that and stated that, how's that sound or come across to you guys on that? I'll let you, Sam, jump on that.
Well, I'll let co-host go first.
Okay, because I see him muting and unmuting. All right, Shaky.
I'm sorry, my son walked by. I didn't want interference. You know what? Let's talk about the eyewitnesses. Watch when you see a bear run through the woods, and you don't have a clear image of what it is. You see something black and furry running. You want it to be a squatch. All right. If you have even a foot away sighting, and you see this thing full face, body and all, and you're the only person to see it, it's still a fish story. I'm sorry, that's all it is to everybody. Without that sound proof of an image, it's a fishtail. I don't expect anybody to, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know, it's how much can be embellished, how much thing could be 6 foot tall, and your mind's out there because you're all excited, and you may think it's 8 feet tall. You know, I've seen experiments done where they took a cutout and had people ride by, and the cutout was 4 foot tall, and people were saying that was an 8 foot tall cutout.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, things happen so fast that your mind cannot process it that fast, and gaps that your mind's not processing. Now, I'm not calling anybody a liar. I'm not saying you didn't see one, but
Right.
without it's just a it is what it is.
All right. What about you, Sam?
Well, I mean, I agree totally, but you know, if you truly see one, like a lot of people have, and we have many credible witnesses out there, all over the world, not just here in the United States, but you know, you've got lawyers, judges, cops.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all kinds of all kinds of people that has seen this creature. So, you know, here's the thing for me. I need to see it for myself. When I do, case closed. Because the
Right.
only person I have to prove that it exists to is myself. Now,
Right.
like Shaky said, it is a story, and I would always know that, like the evidence I have now. I mean, I can't say 100% for sure that it's a Bigfoot, but I can't rule it out. I mean, it's, you know, but I have to see it for myself. But there are a lot of people that make stories up, like Rick Dyer. And, you know, it happens, man. It's part of anything that any kind of creature out there. So, you know, somebody's always going to try to hoax it. And I mean, that's just the nature of how we are, you know. So
Right.
until we get that clear image or clear video, and I'm talking super close, you know, I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean,
Yeah. All right. Now, all right. To clear a couple things up, I had some feedback on my blog post, and my blog post says exactly what it says. Now, however, all right, as far as say you said you saw, all right, just I'll use you, Sam, for example. Say you were on the way to work one morning and unexpectedly you had one run across the road on you and you couldn't believe your eyes, but you know what you saw. Now, if you told me that, now see, I wasn't there with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna turn around and say, no, you didn't see what you said you saw. I'm not. That's not me. All right. All right. Now, if you try to put a piece of evidence out there to the public and say it was Bigfoot related, you say, okay, like for example, I'll throw around, I'll use myself for example. I take pictures of foot tracks. I cast them, most of the time, and I share them. Everyone sees what I share. Now, to me, undeniably in my mind, yeah, that's Bigfoot. But now, can I pass that off as Bigfoot evidence? What else do I have that will support that being Bigfoot? You know, that's one of the things I'm kind of getting at too. It's it's assumptions or possibilities. I mean, because what I present is what I'm finding. I mean, I've had some tracks where people say, "Oh, those are bear tracks." They very well may have been, but when you have a humanoid-looking foot, 5 digits, you know, you know, let's say 15 to 18 inches, because I have them. You know, I don't see a bear with an 18-foot, 18-inch foot. You know what I mean? Uh, Question is where we find them in remote places. Could they be hoaxes? Could somebody knew I was going to be there? You know, that's one thing we could consider. But on the other hand, I don't tell people specific locations. They might know my area, but they don't know exact locations where I'm going to go venture into. I mean, I found stuff in areas I've never been in before. And so how's somebody knowing that I've been there? All right. But again, back to me presenting something, and this goes for anybody. If we got people out there presenting stuff, like I said, I use pictures for example. They're calling them Bigfoot. How do you know they're Bigfoot? Okay. Oh, they're cloaking. Well, how do you know they're cloaking? Well, I could see them. Okay, that raises another question. Cloaking is invisible. Okay, meaning invisible. You can't see them. How are you seeing what's not there? I mean, how are you? The presentation that people are trying to push out on people is very foolish. This is what I'm getting at. I got friends in the Bigfoot community. I do. I got friends in the Bigfoot community. Um, that believe in this, that do this, and I just honestly, I don't know. I do question them. I ask them questions because I've found I try to come approach many people with simple questions, and it doesn't open up any clue to them. So sometimes I feel like it's times that we have to get blunt, throw that little bluntness out there, you know, and we're not hating on these people. They got to realize it. It's not hate because like me, I have a passion for what I do. I want to bring awareness. I want people to be alert. Wake up for what I'm trying to present there to them. If they're gonna push on something, you push something and say this is from Bigfoot or this is Bigfoot. Prove it. Prove it. Where's any bit of evidence? Where's your data that supports your claim? That's basically what I'm getting at. Um, there's one I could get into. I know Shaky's very familiar with. Um, as far as a discussion, I mean, I'm not going to mention no names, but oh, I just lost my train of thought because I was reading something. Um, but yeah, as far as what I shared with Shaky, like I said, I'm not going to share no names. um, I'll come back to that. I'm going to come back to that. But
Are you talking about the SUV through the bushes?
yes, yes. You know, now I shared other updates related to that. Actually, no, that was actually something different. I'm sorry. It's something totally different off.
Oh,
It was something separate. I dealt with somebody else about something, and I promised him, I would not share his name. And this is actually relating to what he claims to have seen cloaking happen in front of him. Um, he's from what I understand, I guess he saw the subject and it supposedly cloaked right in front of him. All right. He says he knows he can't prove that, but that was, you know, what he said he saw. He's even been to, specialists, discussed and shared that information. And I don't know. I'm not going to get into the details about anything else, but um, I I told him I was going to get back to him today and try to have a discussion with him today, and I never did. I've been kind of busy on and off since I've been home. But the thing is, all right, this is funny because this reminds me of something you shared, Shaky. Remember when you said you didn't think it was going to ever happen? You didn't think it was possible, but then you talk about you saw something walking in the field and you thought it was a cloaking subject. Come to find,
oh, at the
yeah,
doctor's office.
yep. Well, um, this is something I actually have a video of cloaking. My father cloaked. Okay, when me and him were out about a little over a month ago, a couple months back, maybe a little sooner than that. Well, I was doing some video. Dad had his 22 out with him while he was looking for squirrels, and he started walking back down the path, and I was panning my camera, scanning the wood line, just looking around with my camera, and I happened to lock on to my father as he was slowly walking down the path. And of course, as he was walking around the path, the path kind of went around a corner. You know, all the laurel brush and all the leaves, bright green leaves and everything. And me and Dad were both wearing camo. All right. Now, with that being said, as he was walking down, there was reflections of a light hitting him, and then there was shadows hitting him. And I'm watching him through the camera, and automatically he became the bushes, but I still saw the bushes moving. It was like you could see the silhouette, you could see his whole figure, and but yet you could see it walking away. That was my father. Okay. And I couldn't help but notice. I said, this is a good example of what people are probably seeing. Maybe people are seeing subjects in their environment. Okay. And just like any other animal, deer. We've talked about how a lot of animals naturally blend into their environment, and as far as the way I saw my father walking down that trail, and all the bushes, it was a narrow trail. The bushes were, very close to the trail, thick, overhanging. But like I said, I still saw my father from the head down to his toes as he was walking down, and just the way the sunlight and some of the shadows blended in and were hitting together, he literally became cloaked, invisible. I mean, I can't say invisible, but he was literally part of the forest. And I was staring at him. And you could slowly watch him disappear more and more into as he walked away. So I do believe that there's a I'm not sure of the right term to use here, but there's a great deception with the way we interpret what we see. I believe. I think that's a little bit more safer to say. I know I misinterpreted things, so why can't others? I know I'm not perfect, so why can't others not be perfect? So, I'm gonna read. There's a couple things popping up here on the live chat I want to read. I'm so free from other. Okay, hold on. Let me see what we got. Mr. Keith Ross. He said, "I'm so free from others coming into any forest, looking anywhere. I go where nobody follows me into the forest, but I'm free." Hold on. Cool time together. Gotta go back. And then Big Head Martian said, "I believe in the cloaking theory." Well, a lot of people believe in the cloaking theory, but there's nothing to support it. There's no evidence to back it up. Now, as far as what I just explained, that was an example what I believe. If anybody is seeing anything related to cloaking period, I believe it's the natural blend that people, or animals are in their environment. It's just the way my father stood out. He literally looked like the character from Predator. It's like the figure was almost like clear, but you could still see it. That's the way my father's camouflage clothes were blending in with the the surroundings, and the lights and shadows kind of bouncing off and combined, blended. I honestly believe that's kind of a trickery to that one perceives into their vision. But as far as as far as magical cloaking, I don't see that possible because there has never been nothing to support it. But anyway, with that being said, I'm trying to stay on subject.
Well,
go ahead.
Let me read the definition of cloak. Hide, cover, or disguise. To me, that's camouflage.
Right.
That's basically. I don't. So, okay. So your Wikipedia version is to basically appear and disappear.
Okay. Yep.
That's just hard for me to believe. It can appear and disappear.
Well, I did another blog actually not too long ago. Let me go through it here. It's under my website here. Okay, here it is. All right, and all right, it's on the title of it. This is under my website, under my blog post on my website. It's called "Cloaking or Invisibility: A Scientific Explanation of True Sense." All right, invisibility. All right, is a state of an object that cannot be seen. An object in this state is said to be invisible. All right. The term is often used in fantasy or science fiction, where objects cannot be seen by magical or technological means. However, its effects can also be demonstrated in the real world, particularly in physics and perceptual psychology classes. All right, since objects can be seen by light in the visible spectrum from a source reflecting off their surfaces and hitting the viewer's eye. The most natural form of invisibility, whether real or fictional, is an object that neither reflects nor absorbs light. That is, it allows light to pass through it. This is known as the transparency and is seen in many natural occurring materials. All right, although naturally occurring materials is 100% transparent. All right, invisibility perceptions depend on several optical and visual factors. For example, invisibility depends on the eyes of the observer. All right, and or the instruments used. Thus, an object can be classified as invisible to a person or animal, instruments, or etc. In research on sensorial perception, it has been shown that the invisibility is perceived in cycles. Invisibility is often considered to be the supreme form of camouflage. There you go. As it
Case closed.
does. What's that?
Case closed.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Oh yeah.
You think about it. You go in if the Bigfoot exists in the environment, he blends in with nature very easily. So do many birds, owls, for example. They get in those holes in the trees, dude. You can't see them if they weren't blinking. So that's just camouflage. Exactly what you said. Stealth technology. Our stealth bombers.
Yeah.
They cloak, but they're not invisible. They're there.
Right.
It's just camouflage.
Yeah, part of that, I believe they use their material technology. I think they use like a mirror effect, which hides them into their environment, like the sky. You know.
I want to say something. I want to say something that I said on the radio show.
Yeah.
All the eyewitnesses of Bigfoot. And think of the colors they talk about. They come in like a rust red. They come in a black. They come in brown. They come in tan. Now look at Army Jeep. Look at Army camouflage. It's the same colors. Bigfoot. Even green ones have been cited. They said it looked like you were wearing moss.
Mm-hmm. It very may well be.
Let's change the spectrum. You want to talk about something that can disappear? Think about a chameleon.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Not disappear, but he can change his skin color to blend in where you will not see him. Don't know what these animals can and can't do. I don't think they can change the color of their hair, but I think their hair has something to do with and the effects of nature on it. I think that and wearing camouflage, you can't be seen anyway.
Right, talking about the part of the being the transparent, all right, as I just stated, invisibility is often considered to be the supreme form of camouflage, as it does not reveal to the viewer any kind of vital signs, visual effects, or any frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum detectable to the human eye, instead making use of radio, infrared, or ultraviolet wavelengths. All right. Now this here, in illusion optics, invisibility is a special case of illusion of illusion effects, the illusion of free space. Then I go on to get into the cloaking, because I was basically giving a rundown and about invisibility. As far as cloaking, I'm pretty straightforward on this part. Cloaking is not a magical trick or power belonging to any living creature or being on Earth. This is one of two forms of logically explained camouflage. A, an animal of the earth is in its own natural habitat and environment, state of living, and can naturally blend in with its surroundings. B, a person is using a form of clothing to disguise themselves within a habitat not of their own living quarters, and or the use of modern technology normally associated with military gear to reflect its surroundings, causing the illusion of invisibility. And then I go on to say, let it be known the science has far come to the existence and has many explanations yet to establish truth. With many theories, it studies. Excuse me. I lost my train of thought because I got messages popping up here. Science is often wrong, but establish many theories. Study. Science is often wrong, but yet has proven logical happenings over and over regarding natural occurrences, not magical powers that do not exist, and blah blah blah. But as far as that's all I had to go on and say about cloaking. Welcome along. Welcome aboard, Mr. Michael Cook. How are we doing tonight?
Oh, we're not too bad. Not too bad. Just about had a house fire from some burnt popcorn. We're good.
Oh my goodness. All right. Give me a second. I'm jumping back to the live chat here.
So, if this cloaking does exist, first off, where does it come from, and how does it end in that cloaking instance? Like, that's what I'm not sure of. You see where I'm getting at? Like, okay, so if you see it and it cloaks, like, where did it come from, and then it cloaked, where did it go, or did it just all? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the whole cloaking. You know, it's camouflaging itself. It's there.
Right.
That's all it's doing. I mean, there's like any other creature would.
Well, yeah, basically, I mean, that's why I was using my father example in the video when I was out in the woods with my father. I mean, yeah, it was slightly overcast, but there was some sun out. But that's exactly what it was appearing to me. And I was like, man, this is awesome because it was all natural. You know, we know humans don't have magical powers. I know surely my father doesn't. But like I said, we were both wearing camouflage clothes. But then, you know, he was walking down. Again, the light, the shadows, you know, the surroundings, the leaves, green leaves and trees and bushes around him. I believe the combination of the light and the shadows and, you know, and as I read the space, you know, that kind of combined together, forming that transparent, you know, look where he was just, it looked like you could almost see through him. That's the image that was given when he was walking away, you know, with all that combined. So to me, that if people are seeing something and claiming they have this cloaking ability, it's their natural thing to blend into their environment. They're not turning invisible; they are naturally blended in. Now, as far as these pictures that are being posted and shared that claim to be cloaked, all right, if a subject is there, they should be able to be made out. For example, people post, I'm sure you guys seen the same thing. People do one of two things, and they use this for examples. One, they post a gentleman, a sniper or whatever, a hunter in a ghillie suit in the right environment. They're almost it's almost, I'm not going to say impossible, but you can still find them in the image by carefully looking. A deer is another one. So, you know, depending on what's in their, you know, surroundings, what's in their background, what are they up against, how's the lighting, you know, all that I believe has a key role in the way they blend in and hide naturally. So I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Do you remember that video of the guy that was goat hunting? You see, and you can see a couple of them. He says, you see 42 of them or something like that, and it's a rock ledge. And he cracks a shot right in the middle of the rock ledge, and then all of a sudden, them rocks start scattering. It was goats.
Wow.
But you couldn't tell they were goats. If I find it, I'll show it to you. It was going around for a while.
That is pretty
cool. It was
cool.
A really cool video. And
I tell you what, if you could get that video and do a screenshot of the image of all the goats on there, do a screenshot of it and like crop that picture, that would be a good example to throw out there and start sharing in groups. What do you see in this image? What do you see? And if people can't see nothing, if they claim to not see nothing, then, well, hey, if you can see an invisible Sasquatch in a photo, why can't you see a goat and, you know, blended in with a stone? You know.
Well, here's another thing. David Copperfield made an airplane disappear, a jet disappear, made a mountain disappear, made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Illusion, it never disappeared. So, you know what I mean? It's your eyes. It's not the object. It's how your eyes are working.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of optical illusions that are actually natural occurrences that we're unaware of. You know, I mean. I mean, I don't know. It's just sometimes we see things. I mean, I've seen things out in the woods, not sure what they were till they became more in focus or got closer. And, you know, I mean, I don't think no one out there has a perfect vision to see every optical illusion. I mean, not saying they don't exist. I mean, I'm sure maybe there is somebody out there with the perfect vision in the world to see everything, to catch every little thing. I like to say I'm pretty good at catching a lot of things, but I do miss a lot of things. So I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in a lot of things, but so. Mr. Michael Cook, I know you're just sitting back hearing us kind of ramble on. Did you have anything you want to jump in on, throw in on there?
Yeah, well, cloaking. I've always been on the fence with cloaking. I mean, a lot of people perceive cloaking as what the Predator does on the movie.
Right,
And,
exactly.
and it's just like that, and it goes into invisibility mode. When
Right.
in fact, it's just like what you were talking about. It's a natural form of camouflage, and
yeah, I'm here. Uh-oh.
I've seen it several times, and it'll open your mind. It'll blow your mind whenever those goats take off.
Oh.
The thing that pisses me off the most with people who claim cloaking is, like you said, it's the same picture of a bush, and they're saying there's 4 Sasquatch standing there. I mean,
Right.
and I consider myself a fairly nice guy. I don't, call a bunch of people out, but I had one guy that sent me a picture of a bush, and he was like, "Do you see the Bigfoot standing there?" And I threw it up on the big screen, and I couldn't see it. And I said, "Where's it at?" We're on the phone. "Oh, you can't see it because it's cloaking." And man, I got mad. I was like, "Don't you ever call me again? Don't you ever put anything?"
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I was telling them. Yeah, I was telling them earlier. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys do too. I think we all have friends that believe in this theory. And the thing is, I think they need to be questioned more. I mean, what do they have that supports this? And, as I read earlier, and as some of you read in my blog, and I think this is, I don't know, I kept thinking about the way I quoted and put in my blog. If your only answer is because I saw it, I'm sorry, but to me that's not good enough, because that doesn't support what you're not giving me nothing that supports what you saw. I know that's asking too much, but I think that's where we need to step it up a little bit. If I said I saw a Sasquatch, well, how do you know I saw a Sasquatch? By me telling you I saw one, and that's not good enough. I mean, to me, the way I look at it, because I've thought about this myself very often. What if I get the perfect image? What if I get the good footage? And I know others have thought the same thing. But the thing is, if I did see something, who's gonna believe it? It's just my hearsay. I don't think no one's gonna. Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be some people to believe it. But if we're trying to set forth and prove and bring the subject to existence to the public, that's not good enough. That's what the problem is. You got people that want to help prove, but that's not proving nothing when you tell stories. And for we got people who tell stories, but again, nothing to back their stories up. I mean, I got stories, but I have very little to back it up. So I mean, I want people to know I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, because as you hear, I am putting myself into the stew, and that's what I think we need to start realizing. We all need to start examining ourselves. Yeah, I saw the link pop up. Yeah, but yeah, I think we all need to start kind of stepping it up a little bit. And I didn't look completely into Jeff Meldrum's post. It was what he presented. It had something to do with what he presented at one of his recent conferences. And as stated, as far as raising the bar, and part of what it is, I believe I'm sure he's not the only one, but people start sharing and sending him information. People are sending him samples or other samples. And I think scientists are getting tired of getting bear samples, bear hair, dog, canine hair, coyote, whatever it might be, deer hair. I think I think what people need to start doing is stop looking for Bigfoot. These people, that I'm not saying everybody, but there's people that need to stay away from Bigfoot and start start studying and researching their known wildlife. Get familiar with their known wildlife and what they do and how they act and how they behave, their maneuvers, their tracks, and especially their scat. Till they get enough knowledge and basic understanding of what they do and what they're capable of doing, then maybe you could try looking for something that's not classified, something that's not acknowledged. You know, I mean, to you guys on the panel, is this making sense? Because I mean, what I'm doing and what I'm throwing it out there for viewers as well and for future viewers. But I mean, is it making any sense what I'm trying to say, or am I just rambling?
Well, people get their feelings are so easy, and it's sad. I mean, if you can't take, you can't take constructive criticism or any kind of criticism, you're in the wrong field, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's just the way it is. If you can't,
Oh yeah.
Everything like what the pictures I found today, I posted. I didn't say, all I said was I found bear activity and I found deer activity. I found some broken
Right.
off trees. But you know what? That's for everybody that looks at my post to decide what they think or what they can come up with.
Right.
Sit there and tell you what to think it is. You got to come up with that on your own.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, and that's one thing I try so hard to do, especially every time I'm out in the woods. And I'm not going to say sometimes I slack in some of my videos, but when I do videos out in the woods, when I find stuff, I come across stuff, I even point out the simplest little tree break, and I give it I present what I'm showing with a logical possibility. Okay, this very well meant, like for example, my last recent video, this one scene where it was towards the beginning of it, probably within the first few minutes, there was a little tiny tree limb that was probably about 5.5 foot up, and it was snapped over, just hanging there. And my logical explanation is, I said it very well may have been broke by a deer, a buck. Deer. I've seen this before. Deer are known for breaking small limbs. Deer can actually, has anyone ever seen a deer get up on its hind legs and reach a branch and pull it down too? Deer do that too to grab the leaves, and so forth.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize deer are common for getting up. You got an apple tree, a deer is going to get up to get that apple if it's high enough, too far up, out of reach. Limbs and stuff get snapped from deer. I'm not saying they're the number one cause for most snapped limbs and broken trees, and bears are the majority of it. And then next you got weather. But then there's a combination that we can't, we got to consider too, that there's a possibility that Sasquatch might be doing this too. However, there's a few things I point out in my videos where after examining them, I state that I believe this was done by hands. Now, if a human's doing it, why is a human doing it? Like I had one bent over tree. I clearly showed that, well, this was done by force. All right. The tree was stabbed into the ground. And as it was stabbed, it was broke right there where it goes to the ground. It was shot out straight ahead. But there was two trees resting on top of it. Those two trees were not big or heavy enough to hold down that tree. That tree was already broke down there. That X was placed there from what I observed, from what I believe. And in that statement, I was also saying I believe this was possibly Bigfoot. Not saying directly that it is, but I believe there's a good possibility that Bigfoot or Sasquatch may have done this. Now, if that was some oddball sign from a hunter, I don't know, because I found those same things in my main research area. Keep in mind, I'm many miles away from my main research area. This new area that I've been studying and finding all this alleged, possible evidence of Sasquatch. I've gathered reports from this area. It seems like a serious hotspot because there's sightings. Other people have shown me and sharing photos of tracks with me. I'm finding tracks there. I believe there's a matter of time that maybe I might see something. So I don't know. I have yet to really hear anything. I've heard things that happened at my camp at night. but that could have been a bear, a bull bear, because I made a lot of noise that night, and whatever it was did not want to go away. So, so I mean, I don't know. It's very possible that it could be either or, but it's not right of me to say Bigfoot's here. I don't know Bigfoot's here unless I see him doing it. Now, yeah, if I do say Bigfoot did this, it's because maybe I saw him do it. So, but if I didn't see him doing it, I can't say he did it. We can't assume that he did it. We could think of the possibility of him maybe doing it, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to shut up. I know maybe you guys have anything to say. I do want to state for viewers, if you're new on here, if you're viewing, and you want to leave a comment, if you're on your phone, if you scroll right down below where you're watching, the live chat is right below where you're watching. Keep scrolling down on your phone, and we're direct. The live chat is right down below. Scroll down on your phone, and you can see the live chat. You can post your comments. If you're on a laptop, computer, your comments are on your left-hand side. Excuse me, on your top right-hand side. So top right-hand side if you're on your computer. And if you have any questions, comments, I'm watching the live chat right now as we speak. I'm actually going to refresh it right now just to be on the safe side. So if there is anything on there, sometimes, I don't know, usually they show right up.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah. What's that?
The rocks you had on in that video that were on those stumps, was that two different rocks?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, those are totally two different rocks. Because if you watch what I was showing in them, and they were far apart too. Those two rocks, one had a point to it, but it wasn't a sharp edge. Now, if you look at the other one, to me it was very similar, but you could see the sharp, clear edge on the other one I came across. Now, I shared this information with the gentleman who introduced me to this area, brought me or showed me where this area was. And I told him about that. Keep in mind, this guy's a skeptic. And now he says, now his response, being a skeptic, he said, "Oh, hunters do this." I said, "Really? For what reason?" He said, "I don't know. They might be marking their hunting area, this and that." I said, "Well, Richard," I said, "the one stump that had the rock on it, right next to it was a straight drop off. I mean, I don't know. I don't see that being a hunting location, a hunting spot. Yeah, there was signs of hunting in that area. I can't not deny that. I know hunters do go in there, but however, I found a few other things that stood out to be very odd. But there was a possible theory that I was coming to. I was drawing together. Like I said, it was only a theory. It's what kind of like almost what I concluded in it. But I thought maybe there's a possibility that those were placed there, maybe left over for a future tool, or a weapon. Because if you look, it's got the big end on one side, and it's got the sharp, narrow point like this on the other. And if you take your hands, and it looks like it's something you could take down and smash, kind of like an axe or a maul. So I don't know. It's something I was looking at. It's a possibility. Maybe it is from a hunter for whatever reason. I don't know. Because I told him, I said, "Well, Richard, in my main research area a couple years ago, hiking up on the higher ground, going up a ridge, I found the same thing on a dead rotted stump, except it was a flat stone, but a couple inches thick, but completely flat, just sitting on top of a stump. What's the, what's that? What purpose is it doing there? I mean, why is a hunter placing the rocks on stumps? Is it a marker for a hunter? Maybe. I don't know. But they're in the oddest places. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, there were two different stones. If you look back on them, you can see the one only had the edge was more rounded off. On the other one had a good, clear, sharp, image. So,
30 years ago, when I started bow hunting, in a semicircle in front of my stand, either with or I'd break whatever I could to mark it. And what I was doing, I was bow hunting because that was my 30-yard mark. I didn't ever want to shoot a deer more than 30 yards. So I would actually mark so when the deer came in, I would know he was close enough for me to shoot.
Yeah.
But if you're finding one thing like that, that's just kind of weird. Is that a marker there to take your mind off where you're walking so you walk off the cliff or something? Knows.
All right.
Weird shit now, man. They're going in these woods doing survival things, and they could be putting these markers up, telling people, you gotta go in so many miles till you find this point, and then you gotta go. It's hard to say anymore. It's just so many things going on now. It's hard to say.
Right.
We really do need better evidence.
We do. I mean, part of the reason why I want to see people start getting more serious about it. I mean, there's people that are serious about it, but I don't think they know how to be serious about it. I think a lot of them are overtaken by what other people presenting as, I call it a cheap way out, where they are living in a more of a fantasy atmosphere where they're like everything's so easy just to accept. Everybody's so willing to accept the easy way out or the easy possibility instead of considering more logical. I think it's harder for people to take the concept of what's more logical versus fantasy. It's fun to go along and follow fantasy versus logical. And I think, and it's affecting a lot of us for those who are presenting this, a lot of the stuff that's not support, it has nothing to support it. A lot of the foolish stuff. I think my main thing is I'm more or less attacking what I've attacked before. Is again the cloaking, the portals, a lot of this kind of craziness. And I sent Baldemar the link to get in here. I hope he joins because he was asking about getting in.
Yeah. He just texted me.
Okay,
he sent me a message. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I sent him the link because I love. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was talking to him the other day. On the phone, and we talk a lot, And,
oh yeah.
He's got a lot of activity where he's at. He's got a lot of great activity. It's peaking. And it's really great, because I made the comment. I said, well, when you go hunting, leave a gut pile. He said, man, you and I think it's just alike, because he's going to leave a gut pile and put a camera on it. And he's got a good chance. If anybody else does, he has got a great chance of getting one on camera. And I hope he does.
Oh, yeah.
There's some really good researchers out there. There really are. Michael Cook, I don't consider myself a great researcher. I'm a backyard researcher, But there's some really great researchers out there doing a lot. And it's just going to be a matter of time. It's going to take patience and just a lot of being out there. But it's going to happen. Just win. That's the thing. Just win.
Oh, yeah.
Where is Michael anyway? I see his head there, but it ain't moving.
How shaky?
I don't know if he's even there. Oh, there you are. There you are. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Speaking about the cloaking and the portals and all the weird stuff there, who's to say it's Bigfoot related? I mean, there's definitely something going on out in Soha, Southern Oregon habituation area. But who's to say it is definitely Bigfoot related?
Yeah.
It could be aliens. It could be interdimensional beings. I think Bigfoot is flesh and blood, guys. That's all there's
to
to
it. I do too.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell you a story real quick. Well, and I told the story before, but I'm going to tell you the story. When my grandfather was a little boy, he got caught reading a Buck Rogers magazine, and his father, my great-grandfather, took it away from him and threatened to beat his ass over it. And he said, why, what's wrong with this? And my great-grandfather told him, this can never happen. Man will never go into outer space. We'll never go to the moon. It's a bunch of foolishness, and I don't want you reading it. Well, my great-grandfather died in I guess it was so he never saw it. He never saw what happened. But in the 60s, we did go to the moon. Can only comprehend things to a point. And that's just it. I believe these things are flesh and blood. But in my mind, I've got to keep it there that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Who the hell knows? You know, we are just a speck of dust in a great big universe. You know, and I hate to say it like that, but we don't know. We really don't. Just because we cannot comprehend what something happening doesn't mean it's not possible.
Right.
Well, when I talk about cloaking and stuff like that, portals and everything else, you know, I use the example of when I had my original sighting. Why did it not cloak? Why did it not go into a portal instead of rolling off into the river in front of me?
Right.
Dude, if I could cloak, my ass would be sitting up in a damn buffet eating right now, not paying for it. I cloak in, eat, and cloak out. Come on, you know. I don't know. It's I think it's more camouflage than disappearing is the cloaking word. I think the word's being used wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about them being intelligent. Yeah, I do believe they have a certain level of intelligence, but I think people are confusing intelligence with instinct. It's my thing, you know. It's just their instinct is to hide, their instinct is not to move, and the instinct is to stay the hell away from us. I don't think it's intelligence. I think a lot of it is instinct.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Well, one individual I was talking with yesterday, as far as him talking about his cloaking, he asked if we were still on. I said, yeah. Yeah, he wanted to see what we had to say. So
I really think people are getting mixed up on their words. I really think that's what a lot of it is. I think words are being used in the wrong sense.
Right. That's very possible
really
too.
Think not using the right words or the right terms to describe things, you know. And instead of saying cloaking, I think these things, can, you know, the way they can camouflage themselves is, you know. But you know, that's just my thing. I think, you know, I'm just a redneck hillbilly, you know. I just I don't know. What is that? Oh, is that the cast you took?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is
Oh, that's Sam's cast.
yeah. This is cover photo, I think. Oh, we have Mr. Chu on board with us.
It's awful dark in here.
All right, hey guys, I got a question here from it's on Facebook from a viewer on Facebook by Mr. Gary Johnson Sr. He says, "Has anyone ever seen the big eye? If not, how would you know what he looks like? To me, that's like throwing stones to someone that has. What's your comment on this matter?"
I can comment on that.
Yeah,
quickly.
go ahead.
Well, the footprints that I found are human-like, so you would definitely think that it has a human ape-like appearance. You know, from here we go again. I mean, here we go again. We've got very credible eyewitnesses all over the world that we know are credible with eyewitness testimony, that thousands of them, and you can't deny it. So, but I see where he's got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
Well, I know I've heard people say a couple different things. People describe very ape-like appearance, long arms, ape-like face, flat face, wide nose. Then on the other hand, people that claim to see him, oh, he was very human. He's human. He looks like a human, so he's got to be, you know. Well, that's some say so. You know, and that's another thing. I think.
I believe there's 4 clans. I believe there's actually 4 clans, 4 different clans of them. One is the Neanderthal-looking clan. One is the ape, the gorilla-looking clan, like Patty. Then you have the big chimpanzee-looking thing, like down in the south in the skunk ape. And then the 4th one is what's being called the dog man, which is a baboon-looking Bigfoot with a snout and canines and pointy ears. You know, it's a baboon. And that's just my opinion on that, on the four clans or what's out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good
I
point, Shaky, because, you know, when
yeah,
they discovered the Billy Ape, you know, they said that didn't exist. And, you know, here we've got solid proof of it. And it's more like a bush instead of a family tree. It's becoming a bush and just keeps growing outwards.
yeah. If anyone's paying attention to the species of primates, of non-human primates, um, you know, monkeys and other apes. I mean, they're being new ones are being discovered all the time. You know, so you know, so that goes to show that there's a species out there that we still don't know about, that we're still unaware about. You know, and I know it doesn't have to just be primates. It's just different species altogether, different cryptids. You know, cryptids are just species that have not been discovered yet. You know, they're unclassified, such as Sasquatch, the alleged Sasquatch. I mean, I believe it's safe to say there's not just hundreds, but there's thousands of sightings and reports, and there's probably more because I tell you what, people are starting to come out of the woodwork. I've said this before because the more awareness gets put out there, the more people are starting to share information. I mean, I've gotten information from people that I never would expect to hear something like that about. You know, um, so I mean, it's interesting. You know, that's why I push a lot of awareness, not just about my group, but about what we do. You know, that we want to hear from people, and I love hearing stories and reports. I want sometimes they're curious about what they saw, and I mean, I'm not no expert, but I try to help them along the best I can. I mean, or I may, and I've done this often, I'll direct them to other people that could help them, that might have more experience in what they might want to know or whatever. So I mean, yeah, there's species all being discovered all the time.
And I'm gonna tell you, these encounters are gonna happen more frequently. We got two things going on. First of all, you have man moving out of the city and into the country and into the woods and the mountains and encroaching more on their territory. Is one
Yep.
thing. The second thing you have a healthy breeding population of these creatures, because we're not finding things in the footprints, whatever, showing that they're interbreeding or having these issues. Now, this thing is living 50 years plus, and they're reproducing 3, 4, or even 6 young per female. Their numbers are growing. So they're not only we're encroaching, they're expanding and moving, because they've got to be moving to get new mates, because
Oh
they're
yeah,
not inbreeding. We're not finding the inbreeding part of it. So it's going to come to a head eventually, where we're just going to come together. It's going to happen.
absolutely. Couple things I want to say real quick. Well, before I answer the next question, Baltimore, I know he's listening. He's on the live chat. Baltimore, I know you said you wanted to join in. I sent you the link. It's go to your messenger. I sent you the link to join in directly with us on live video, live on the live streaming. So if you want to join in and get on with us, we would love to have you, buddy.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, I saw your message. I didn't want to interrupt the shake either.
You saw my message?
Yeah, that you got to run.
Okay, yeah. You guys, hey, have a great night, and I will watch a little bit when you get it loaded up on YouTube.
All right,
Sam,
awesome. Thanks for coming on, Sam. All right.
You and your sound effects.
Got the Beavis and Butthead laugh.
Hey, why couldn't Sam have left that mask for Chew? It'd have been a hell of an improvement.
Thank you.
All right.
Just on here.
Yeah, here's a question. This is something we've discussed quite often in the past, but Mr. Jeffries wants to know, as far as what do we think about shooting one? Who wants to start on that one?
I don't believe in it. I don't think something that needs to take a life to prove it exists. If it's
Yeah.
in self-defense, that's one thing. If I'm being charged by a bear, a cougar, a Bigfoot, I don't care. It's going to die before I am. But I don't believe in going out and hunting the thing down and killing it to prove it exists. There's other ways we're going to be able to prove this without taking a life. These
Yeah.
creatures are. I don't think. I believe there's a lot of them, but I don't think there's that many of them. You know,
Right.
just be going out willy nilly, and we need to prove to protect them. Be protected and not harassed, and that's for sure.
Some of the stories that are out, the government's already eliminated some of them, so I'm sure there's bodies around they're doing research on. Just hasn't been given out to the public yet.
Now, I think a few of us has discussed this in the past. That I think it's safe to say that I think we all believe that it pretty much boils down to a body. It's going to take a body, with the right documentation. We don't know. I even have doubts about that, but at the same time, I still believe it. And one thing I've always fantasized about was out in the woods while I was doing my exploration, my scouting. Yeah, it's something I've dwelt on and thought about. So what's the possibility of maybe sometime, somewhere, I come across the remains or the body of one? I mean, to me, I think that would be some pretty serious, interesting stuff right there. Hey, we have Baltimore with us. How you doing, man? I see he's getting himself situated.
Maybe he's got it on his foot again.
Yeah, last time we had him on here, we didn't know he was sitting back, and the whole time he had his phone sitting on his foot. Yeah. I think he's getting himself situated.
We're in Texas, brother.
I don't know if he can hear us. I can't hear him.
I don't think he can hear us.
I think he froze.
No, he's moving.
Shaky's froze.
No, I'm not froze. I'm nice and warm.
Michael Cook looks like he's froze. Unless he's got his...
I don't see his head. Where's he at?
I see his face.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just got your camera turned on.
Off the subject, man, that was some real cool shit you did with your son going to that museum, man. That Bigfoot museum. That was really freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
That's a class A dad right there, bro.
I'll tell you, David Bacara has it going on down there, guys. It's if you're a Bigfoot researcher and just enthusiast, Expedition Bigfoot Museum is the place to go. It's on your bucket list. You got to put it on there. And
cool.
The Getty exhibit that they've got coming out is pretty neat. I've seen the behind the scenes of it, and it's going to be neat.
Yeah.
That's down in Georgia, Mike.
Yeah, down in Blue Ridge, Georgia, where it says Cherry Log, but it's actually in Blue Ridge.
Okay, I've heard of all that. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as a body goes, guys, I mean, I always like Daniel. I mean, if I come across one, yeah, I'm bringing something with me.
Yeah.
Whether it be a hand or a foot or a head, taking it straight to your slab, and I'm sitting there until they come out with results.
Yeah.
But as far as killing one, you all know my stance on it. I pack every time I'm in the woods, and I recommend everybody else does too, because of cougars and bears and what have you. But one charges at me, seriously threatening my life, just like what Shaky brung up a minute ago. I got a kid.
Yeah.
So it's going down. I'll put a pumpkin ball straight through its skull.
Yeah. Hey, before I ask the next question.
Uh,
I was just gonna check with Baltimore. Baltimore, do you have audio? We can't hear you, buddy. I can't. No, I can't see him. I mean, I can see him, but I can't hear him. I mean,
Yeah, tell them to go out, log out, and log back in.
yeah. Did you hear that, Baltimore? Yeah, there he goes. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hop off here, guys. Real quick, and I'll make an announcement before it happens again. I'm doing
Okay.
a big night down in Harlan County, Kentucky, at the Harlan Public Library. I'll be doing a presentation. We'll have a really good time. So.
Damn dollop modem.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, Michael, you cut out there.
AOL got you again.
Oh, sorry. Harlan County, Kentucky. I'll be on a presentation down there on November 5th, along with maybe somebody else. So it'll be at the Harlan Public Library at 11 o'clock a.m. and run until 1 p.m. And that's November 5th. So
You got that?
I'm on go.
You got
Well, hey,
that
check
Post it on
posted
Facebook,
the
and I'll
site,
make sure to share it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
post it
do you think that's an event that you might be able to do, like set up Facebook Live while you're doing your presentation?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Awesome.
Very awesome. So
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Have fun. We'll see y'all in a couple of days.
Share
sounds
that link,
good.
Brother.
Mike. Get that link out so we can share it, Mike.
I sure will.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy, Michael. All right. All right. Here's a question from Mr. Jeffries. What's the best piece of advice y'all could give a young Bigfooter like me?
Just get out in the woods.
Best piece of advice.
Get out.
You want me to start on this, or what do you want to do?
Either one. That's fine.
I don't know where you live, but get very familiar with all the animals in your area, the sounds they make, what they look like, their characteristics, their habits, everything. Get really involved in what those animals are doing. When you go out researching, looking look for the evidence, but keep Bigfoot in the back of your mind. Because what you want to do, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, this is how I do it. You got to rule everything out before you can even think of it being a Bigfoot. Nothing else.
Absolutely. Now, and that's another thing. As far as ruling everything out, you got to turn it back around and ask yourself, why am I ruling this out? What gives me the right to rule this out?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What's supporting me ruling this out? I know that sounds kind of difficult, but if I rule out what I find, I gotta. Well, why am I ruling this out? Why can't it be? You got to consider the other possibilities. So yeah, like Shaky said, you got to know, and this goes for me too. That's why I stay all the time. I'm very observant of wildlife. I take a big study and research on wildlife. And I've stated this before. Black bears. I'm not sure where you live, but especially here on the East Coast, right here in Virginia. I mean, in West Virginia, we got black bears out the yin yang, and some of them are very, very large. You need to get very familiar with black bears and understand their tracks, their scat. The scat comes in a variety of different forms of style, and depending on their diet. Because black bears, or any bear for that matter, because a lot of people misidentify black bears, especially their tracks. Their tracks could be very easily misidentified or mistaken. But yeah, definitely learn about your wildlife. And like Shaky was just sharing with you, keep Bigfoot in the back of your mind. Be aware of your surroundings. Let your senses go. Look, listen. And on occasions, don't be afraid to smell the air, because you might smell something that might save your life, that you might want to take notice of and go the other way.
Let me add this too. If when you go out, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to go and buy night vision and all this until you get to that point. Now, carry a ruler, got a cheap camera, carry the camera or your cell phone camera, whatever you guys want for taking pictures. You want the ruler because if you come across a track, you want to be able to lay that ruler down to document how long the track is. You can get a cheap recorder, a voice recorder at Walmart for $20, $30, $20. You can leave that somewhere closed and it's not expensive. You may be able to get some vocalization at night or something. Don't go overboard until you get involved in it to the point that you're really into it. You understand what I'm saying with that, I hope. You don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money. You really don't.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, our recorder is to me a good tool. That way you can start recording and documenting all the different sounds. I use SoundCloud. If I get audio recorded on my audio recorder, regardless if it's a known species that I'm familiar with, I upload it. I save it. I try to collect all the different known species because sometimes people misidentify the vocalizations of our known species, especially coyotes and owls. They're two very important species to be familiar with, especially if they're common in your area. Some people go, I don't have coyote here, or I don't have bears here. You don't know that because bears are very elusive as well. You're not going to always see a bear, just because you don't see them. Yeah, it doesn't mean they're not there. So definitely get familiar with your, the vocalizations as well. That's why a recorder is very important to use to document what you're hearing. I have some sounds that I cannot identify. I like to believe that they are possible Bigfoot related. Because I can't identify it doesn't mean they are Bigfoot related. I've done some research I try to listen to anything that might sound similar to it. I try to post it and reshare it to let other people listen to it. Maybe they'll identify it. They say one person, if somebody tells me it might be this, then I'm going to research that. I want to know the truth. If it's something known, please tell me, because I've researched, I've looked in different, I'm always playing around with different audios, looking up different vocalizations of different species, because there's sounds that species make that we don't hear on a daily basis. Especially like I said, especially coyotes. Coyotes are crazy. Foxes scream, make weird noises, little barks. So
do
and
too.
owls make all kinds of. Sometimes an owl will make a bark sound. Especially a barred owl. Depends on the way they're giving out their vocalization, and especially if they're up on if you're like in my area, my main research area. I mean, when I'm down into it, you got hills and ridges all around you, so they're bound. A lot of times, they're in the distance. Their vocalizations will sound real bassy, and you can hear them bouncing off the hollows and the other mountains around you. So it's a lot to kind of pay attention to.
And never be afraid to ask somebody their opinion. Find somebody that you trust, somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, that maybe been in it for a while. So if you have any questions, you feel that you can ask them. I'm things every day, for whatever reason. It's just never be afraid to ask something. And please, if you ever post anything, expect any kind of a comment to come back. You got to have thick skin.
Yep.
Then you're gonna get haters no matter what.
Absolutely.
Everything with a grain of salt and.
Yeah, because everybody knows me. I get a lot of ridicule and mockery. That's because of people are ignorant. They don't, instead of questioning me, they're straight up, that's their ignorance. And again, I quote it as uneducated ignorance because they're quick to judge you before they question you. And a majority of these people who will judge you or mock you, they don't get out in the field at all. And they're not going to come out and straight out tell you, but they're the so-called Bigfoot experts. And there's no experts in Bigfoot because there's nothing solid or known about Bigfoot. It's all assumptions or what we observe that we could assume or believe in the possibility of it being Bigfoot. But like me, myself, I'll continue to share what I find. Again, as I quoted in my blog, it's for discussion. I never state exactly what it is because I really don't know. I mean, I can make, I could create theories, or a hypothesis on what I find, so yeah, there's a lot of little things to consider and look into. Um, Let me jump on here real quick. Hold on. So
Yeah, and with that, no experts. No, there's no experts, but there is professionalism. Be a professional. You can be very professional about how you get your evidence and how you handle it, and professional about it. Don't if you wanna be very careful, collect them in a bag and wear rubber gloves. Just try to do things the right way.
right.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Ah,
ain't, bro.
got you now. Yeah, buddy. Awesome. How you doing, Baldmar?
I am doing well. I love your show. Is incredible. I got when I was listening to the cloaking that y'all were talking about.
Yeah.
Uh, Me personally, um, I've always been in the woods, and there's one thing that I also study is I study my surroundings real well. And if what makes Bigfoot interesting is that not the fact that they say he cloaks. For me, his fur is excellent for camouflage in the shadows.
Yeah.
That's what makes Bigfoot the animal that he is. He's fast, and the thing is that again, to me, I don't believe in cloaking. Lizards like the chameleon does change colors, but I never heard of a mammal that would do that.
Right.
Especially a
But
mammal
Bigfoot is
with
excellent,
the fur,
sir.
his hair.
Yeah. Oh, sure. There's some times when the sun hits his hair right, it becomes a reddish in color or a bronze in color. That's what when the sun hits a turkey just right, that color comes out of him. And the same thing like Bigfoot. We normally see him at the color of a dark color, and
Yeah.
that makes him excellent to be hiding like in the creek bottoms where there's a lot of shadow. He's an excellent. That's why we call him the Black Ghost in Spanish. So
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
also yeah, and also too is animals too, like you were saying earlier. That is like for example in wintertime, that's when the owls mate, and there's a lot of strange sounds that you hear
Right.
and during the wintertime. We even have the ring-tailed cat that also mates in the wintertime, and it makes a growling sound uh, that if you haven't heard it, you're like going, "Oh man, what is that?" So it's always real good to find out about the animals that live close by when mating season is for these animals, and because they'll make open.
There you're back.
Hold on. Yeah, you broke up a little bit there towards the end, Baltimore.
Okay, what part did you miss, sir?
Uh,
Just,
when you
The
you were
ring-tail.
naming, yeah, what they were called.
Um,
The black
uh,
ghost.
yeah, we called it El Fantasma Negro, the Black Ghost, the Black Shadow.
Yes,
That's
that's
what
it. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they called it. And I have a gentleman that I had an interview with here a few months ago that actually described it as a black shadow, but I never told him the Spanish word of that, but that's what he described it as. But he's described it as black, tall, and the size of the tree branches that was over like 8 feet, 9 feet tall.
Right.
Um, like I said again, it's real good to study your surroundings. It's real good to study the animals. It's real good because there's sometimes too like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how it is over there during mating season of the owls. They make incredible sounds.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you could actually hear them in little beaks, and you could hear that jumping to tree, and you could actually hear these branches break. And also, too, in the wintertime, if you notice, sounds travel a lot different than it does during the summertime. And that's
It's
also another.
foliage. All the foliage is off the trees. Where'd he
Mhm.
go?
Yeah.
you on the tree to make
Yeah,
things dense.
foliage is going off the trees.
Oh yeah.
Well, the leaves, the thickness of the leaves in the brush break sound. So when there's no leaves or brush, when it dies off in the winter, sound travels further.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to refresh the live chat here. There we go. Oh, we did have another question here. Hold on. Let me get to it. I'm trying to pull it back up. Mr. Gary Johnson was asking us about after he's referring to Bigfoot. After he screams and hollers, he said, "Why does he talk for 2 or 3 seconds afterwards?" Well, I'll let you guys jump on that, but I was going to throw a quick response out on that, referring to talking. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it might sound like talking. I don't know why they would refer to it as talking. Maybe it's a type of chatter.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have their language.
yeah. I don't know if he's claiming to actually hear English, because if he's hearing English, I don't know if they were speaking English. I don't know if he's referring to that. All right, let me read it exactly how he has it. He said, like when he does that scream or holler, why does he talk at the end of it? Well, I don't know if anyone else has ever heard that. I can't say I've had. I've always heard screams and hollers, but I've heard possible chatter in the woods before, but not associated with any yell or scream or anything.
Right.
I don't know. What about you, Baltimore? Are you familiar with anything like that?
No, sir, I have not. The only thing that I've heard was hollering and whooping sounds. I've actually heard in the woods pretty close to me. I want to say like around 30 yards away, in the
Yeah.
creek bottoms, where there was a pile of like 3 or 4 dogs eating the guts of a deer, and then all of a
Okay.
sudden, you hear this whoop 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 sound, and it's scaring these dogs off, and these dogs running. But I never heard of anything at the end of that. I just heard that sound, and that was it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard
Are these stray dogs or people's pets or what?
coyotes.
There were
Coyote?
no, sir. They were definitely dogs. They were definitely dogs because I actually saw them run out of the creek bed. The best way to describe the terrain is there was maybe like a 10 acres of clearing. That's where I hunted at, and behind that was actually a big old creek in there, but it was all covered up with brush, maybe like around, I would say like 8 feet, 9 feet tall, and it used that as a cover. And then so we actually threw our guts or bones or anything like that in that creek bottom, and we just left them there. And then so
Hmm.
when we come by the like next morning or afternoon, whatever, they were all gone. Assuming that coyotes have taken it, or never thought of a Bigfoot actually coming over there and feasting on it.
Hmm.
Conversation you and I had, was it last night or night before? I think it was last night, maybe the night before. I think you've got a real good chance of getting a good picture of one of these things. I really do.
Yeah, I really do think so too.
Let's see. I'm gonna play a sound here in just a second. All right. If you guys want to listen to it afterwards on your own, I sent it to you through Facebook Messenger, but I'm gonna try to play it. I don't know how well it'll play through my microphone here. But Baltimore, let me know if you ever heard anything like this before. Oh, hold on. Let me rewind it. Hold on, where'd it go?
Sound like an owl right away when I first heard it.
Hold on. Oh, did you guys hear that okay through the mic?
Yeah, I sure did.
It sounded a little different.
Let me try to play it again. Hold on. Where'd it
Sounded like
go?
a scream. Yeah, it's a scream.
Yeah, some sort. I know I've had some people say, "Oh, this sounds like a woman screaming." I mean, well, it could be a female something, but I don't know.
Fox.
You know.
Fox.
Yeah.
That
I've heard.
don't sound like a fox to me. I just that's weird. It
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
sounds to it.
Can you do it one more time?
Oh yeah. Let me pull that back up. Hold on. Yeah, that's why I sent it to you guys directly, because you guys will be able to hear it a lot better through your own microphones and earphones. Hold on, let me go back to that. It's on my SoundCloud. All right, hold on.
That sounds like a scream there.
I'll tell you this. I've actually heard something similar to that, and very similar. And
Wow.
the only reason why I say that is because real close to my house there used to be a cave there, and that cave was actually destroyed in 1997 by a flood. And so all that thing just now everything's just turned to rubble down there in the bottom. And I think it was, matter of fact, it was last year. We were actually skinning some deer, and we actually heard that same sound down that creek bottom the same way, and it just put chills up our spines. And we looked at each other and said, "Hey, he's back." So, yeah.
Daniel, my son and I heard that last night.
Really?
Had to call him out on the porch because it was doing it, but it was moving away from me. It was doing it, and I did it back, and it ceased. That was the last time it did it. I should have never done it because it did it about, I heard about 6 times, and then once I did that.
Hey.
Which way was it headed? Do you remember?
Towards the river, down towards the
railroad tracks.
If you were my porch is to the right, so that would have been west.
Yeah.
Yeah,
west.
West.
Down towards the campground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody commented on the live chat. Are you guys familiar with the 7 Shoots photo?
No, maybe I don't know. I don't know what for you.
Share it with us.
I'm all right. Hold on, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the one people think it's a dog man in the photo. Yeah, he was asking. Well, he was stating that he said the 7 Shoots photo looks like a form of baboon, and it's funny because once I share that photo with you, Shaky, I think you'll know what I'm talking about, and I think that's exactly what you stated on that before. That's referring to the 4 different clans we were talking about. Let me see if I can pull that up. The 7 Shoots. Hold on, I'll go through my computer. That way I can do a screen share for everybody.
I'm glad you made it back safe.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to have to cut it short tonight. I just wanted to come in and make the comment about the cloaking, and I thought that was excellent, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I look forward to our chats we have, brother. I really look forward to when we talk. And
Yes, sir. All right, we will. Well, all righty, guys. I'm gonna let you all go, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, sounds good. You have a good night, man.
Brother.
Bye.
How's it holding a rabbit?
Some people say it's holding a little dog, but they say this is a lot of people believe this is a possible dog man. Yeah, it says it killed a poodle. Shows that much. I don't know. It's
I've seen that. I've seen this picture.
Yeah, it's referred to the beast of 7 Shoots.
This has been out for a while.
Yeah, it's a couple years old.
I don't know what I see, Daniel. I tell you, to be honest, man, I don't.
Yeah, let me go back because this is
what the hell I'm looking at.
This is actually a darkened image. Let me see if I go back to a lighter one they have here. Does that do any justice?
Yeah, I mean it's something standing there, hairy, but.
Yeah, it's. To me,
it's more of a reddish color.
Yeah, and it looks like it has almost like a snout. To me, if this is something, I agree with the gentleman who commented on the live chat, Dean Johnson. So he said it looks like a baboon.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, and this goes back to where we were discussing about different dogmen. How some of them
Well,
probably
who
you know
took that picture? You know,
That's an
uh
old picture, man. It's been out for a while.
yeah.
Probably
All
the
I know is
same
it's
and
a
that,
beast. The way it states on here, it says a beast resembling a dogman, similar to the beast of Bray Road, but I'm
and
not sure who it
what's it
originated
holding?
from. People say a dog, like a poodle or something. I don't know. I've heard those stories before, but
If that thing come in my yard and grab my dog, it would be. I would not. It's just like I said, self-defense is mine, but I'm not gonna let them get my animals either.
yeah.
Do you
Just
remember? Do you remember the people on did the Bigfoot breakdowns on Facebook that got taken
which
off the?
one? The paranormal breakdown,
No,
or
no,
what was the
no.
guy's name?
Probably
Thicker Thunker.
heard they were no. I'm talking about on Facebook. They had a page on there,
Oh,
and they
Facebook
were
find Bigfoot.
associated with Rick Dyer.
Facebook find Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's it. Facebook found Bigfoot. Yeah, they had a breakdown on that photo. Actually, they did pretty good work on the breakdowns until they
I
started
just wish it was a
getting
clear
greedy and
picture.
wanting
That
money. Yeah, I think there was more
that's
to
the
that
sad thing.
picture, more pictures of that than just that picture. I thought there was a
Yeah.
video.
Daniel, go back, Daniel. Right there. See
Yeah.
that big gorilla in the middle? Now, why
Right
can't we
here.
get a picture like that? Yeah, why can't we get a picture like that?
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Why,
absolutely.
why, why can't we get a nice, clear picture like that? You can see what it is. You see the details of the face. What every damn thing people are showing is a blur, or they got to circle the damn thing.
Oh yeah. Or even a pig.
Looks like Mike's wife.
What's up?
Oh.
Hey, you know something? I had I've had cameras around my neck out in the woods, and not even Bigfoot, but other things, and I wasn't able to get the camera up and take a shot of it. So I
Yeah.
mean, you have to be prepared and ready to go when something runs out or moves around you. Because if you think you're just going to pick the camera up and take a picture, it doesn't work like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm telling you, when we had that, when we had the owl and the whoops and the thuds running right by us, it was dark, but the thermal imager was sitting right by Fred's foot, and I had the audio recorder in my pocket. And because of what happened, and it happened so quick, I didn't even. I mean, I wasn't thinking grab my pocket and try to fuddle around to get the audio recorder working, because I could have picked up that noise on that. It was like 8 seconds
Yeah.
worth of
I had a
noise.
bear run across the road in front of me. He was 6 foot long, 4 foot tall, and weighed about 500 pounds.
And you ran
And
it
I
over.
couldn't get my camera phone on in time to get a picture before he went through the woods. And once it hit the woods, I couldn't even see it. It was gone. I don't even know where the damn thing went.
You know,
Yeah.
these phones are supposed to be getting better cameras, and it's still got autofocus when you yell snap picture. It's still got to focus by the time it is moved, and you have to move the camera again. You know, you
Oh
have to
yeah.
have your camera on and ready.
Yeah.
Sometimes it delays.
I mean, I know I may not have the best. Like, I use my phone for a lot of things, and I know it's probably not the top of the line, but I mean, the camera is 13 megapixels for the camera, and I think it takes pretty clear pictures.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Well, the Bigfoot ain't going to stand still and wave and say, "Here I am, take a picture."
Oh, you never know. You might.
Yeah. Well, the one
Uh.
last night where the guy said it popped out from behind a tree and was staring at him, standing
Hmm.
there staring at him.
Yeah. Ooh.
Greg Bates got some good pictures. He got lucky. He knew it was there, and he said he had to, he was looking the other way and had the camera facing the opposite way to get the picture.
Right.
Yeah.
But he got lucky.
You know, Scott Carpenter walks around with the camera facing the back way, and he was one of the first ones to start doing that. Well, Stroud got him facing him, filming him in the tree, and then that video left the air for some reason. And when it come back, I still couldn't find it. Even slowed it down and was looking for it. And if it wasn't for Survivor Man Facebook page, I would have never found the video again. Crazy. Several of them. I told you the one from Missing in Alaska. The first episode disappeared. I've never seen it again. And then they changed the front. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of weird stuff that was on that show.
Yeah, guys, guess what? I'm going out Saturday. I could finally get to shoot my new rifle that I haven't shot yet.
Did you find that range?
Yeah,
Make
well,
sure I'm not
me and a buddy of mine at work, we found one that's I think it's the same one my father went to. Dad couldn't remember exactly where his was, but he thinks the one we're going to be going to is the same one he went to, that he was brought to. But so yeah, it's yeah, we got plenty of targets, we got plenty of ammo. Get my rifle sighted in, so I'm excited to do some shooting. So
Very cool.
yeah, I'll do some target shooting with my 45 while I'm there too. So yeah. Oh man, but tell you what, gentlemen, it's not really all that late, but it's late for me since I got to get up at 3:30 now this week. So
Any other questions in the chat room?
no, I just got the offer there. I just got done checking. So
Mr. P wanted to say something.
let's see. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. I was just checking something on Twitter. People retweeting my tweets.
Just to recap it, you're absolutely right, and Meldon's right. We need to step it up because we're doing the same thing over and over. We need to step it up somehow, some way. Technology is advancing. We've got to find, some way to get these things a really, really good picture, video, or something. And just keep posting these blurb blob circles and crap is not going to get it done.
Oh yeah.
I just pulled four SD cards out of my cameras. It's got about a month and a half worth of pictures on them. Some of them have. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to find a Bigfoot. I'm going to find all kinds of other shit. Maybe some people walking through my yard.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, before we go, I'm going to do one final screenshot. And here we go. There we go.
Bigfoot for Trump.
Yep. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. All of us are right here on the panel. Yes, we are voting for Trump. I know I am, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud of Trump. I believe in Trump. If you believe in Hillary, you need your head examined. God bless everybody.
You want 8 more years of the toilet bowl.
Why does everybody keep saying it? It's only 4 years. It's only a 4-year term. If we don't like it, we get rid of them. But it's not 8 years. Right. You got to get reelected. It's only 4 years.
Yeah. Well, look, we about Obama 8 years ago.
Yeah, and people are tired of Obama, but yet you got the same people wanting Hillary.
So. Here's the cold hard facts with the media that corrupts everything and puts out all this fictitious information. I have a lot of football players that are inner city people, and their neighborhoods are trash. And from what he's promised, the inner city people, and he hasn't done jack crap. I can't understand why anybody would want to vote for 4 more years of that. He hasn't done anything to improve the inner cities. And then but the media won't show that. They won't show how they're protesting down there about that. They want some things done before he leaves office, and then nothing's getting done. He's going on another vacation.
I don't mean any harm, but I don't want to get into politics. I enjoy talking about Bigfoot.
Bigfoot ticks. Bigfoot has ticks. I'm sure he do. I'm sure
I've had enough of politics.
Who brought up that about the diseases that probably wiped out most of them? Sure it did with the Indians and all. I looked at some of the stuff on that, and a lot of the common diseases that we can cure now that weren't curable back then wiped out a lot of Indian tribes, and I'm sure it wiped out a lot of Bigfoot back then too.
Very well could have.
Think about it. I mean, it's not natural to the environment. Some kind of virus gets in their system. Even like diarrhea would cause them to dehydrate. They could die. That's pretty crazy. Insects, mosquitoes. I don't know if a mosquito can get through to them unless it bites them on the hand or face.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We're about to just jump off, but we got more viewers that jumped on all of a sudden. But for the viewers who just jumped on, if you're just now tuning in, feel free to watch this from the beginning. And check out my blog for yourself. I read it here in the beginning of this show segment, but you can check my blog out. It's posted and floating around Facebook. It's also on Twitter. It's called Let's Prevent It Now, and it can be found at www.ecbro.wordpress.com. And that's pretty much about it. I know I'm tired and my brain's dead right now, so I'm gonna get off here.
Some rest. That's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Get some rest.
You're
Yeah.
Thank you very
talking
much
with
for
some
allowing me to be a
sense.
part of this. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Daniel's actually talking with some sense tonight. We got to keep him on here.
Funny. Yeah. So you guys have a good night.
Where Squatch won't be with us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, indeed.
All right, bro.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. You know, I always post updates about something one way or another throughout the day or week or whatever. So yeah, I'll be back later. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to YouTube channel ECBRO 98. Thank you. God bless.